So my name is Marina and I'll start off by talking about, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen or heard about the show Toddlers and Tiaras. It's a show about young girls who are forced, usually by their moms, to forced upon spray cans, fake eyelashes, fake hair, fake teeth, pounds of makeup, tight swimsuits, seductive faces for beauty pageants. And all beauty pageants in general, my proposition today is that child beauty pageants are extremely harmful to young children. So my three major claims today, or my three major points, are that beauty contests and pageants association with eating disorders, body image problems, and low self-esteem are very large. So I'll first start off with talking about eating disorders. Pageants ingrain into women's heads that to be beautiful you have to be skinny. So, which could become very unhealthy to these girls. Women start to starve themselves and restrict them from eating certain foods. Thompson from Coastal Carolina University displayed the statistics on eating disorders associated with beauty pageants on the U.S. National Library of Medicine National Institutes of Health. And he says that 1/4 of women that competed in pageants had eating disorders that began around the age of 16. Almost half of the women wanted to be skinnier, and 57% were trying to lose weight. Another example is Kristen Hanglund, who was Miss America 2008. She said herself that she suffered from anorexia nervosa, which is basically starving herself, because she was so stressed about the image of being skinny for the pageants. She said to herself that she was living off coffee, Diet Coke, and gum. And she also said that several girls came to her during the final week of the pageant. They were all sharing struggles of their eating disorders. Marina COF was a professor of nutritional sciences at the University of Arizona, and she says that it is not uncommon for teens who used to be in pageants not only to develop eating disorders, but to also have body image problems. And that leads into my second point, which is that beauty pageants cause a lot of body image problems in the future. Many teenagers say that they are so subconscious about their image that they do not know what the ideal body looks like. In a 2007 psychological study, Cartwright came to the conclusion that women who have participated in beauty pageants in the past were more unhappy with their bodies, unlike the women who have not participated in the pageants. A contestant in pageants experience is judged through the eyes of other people that can lead to severe change in how one views their body image. Sid Brown, a young psychologist in Maryland, agrees with Dr. Phil McGraw with pageantry bringing out that children who are affiliated with pageantry doubt themselves because of their looks. And the shape of these girls' bodies might not look how they wanted to, and in the future they can develop acne. So that's how it also creates body image problems. And my third point is that pageants cause low self-esteem. Those who have previously participated in pageants feel the pressure to be perfect on and off the stage, which in the future could cause severe life-threatening situations, and they can develop depression. Brooke Breedwell, a former pageant star, told ABC's Good Morning America that the pageants left her with stress, anxiety, and the feeling that she needed to be perfect all the time. Beauty pageants tend to put major focus on appearance rather than inner beauty. And in conclusion, beauty pageants do no good to these young girls that are usually forced to participate. They cause eating disorders, body image problems, and low self-esteem in the long run. We should be teaching these girls that beauty can be seen in all shapes and sizes, not by how much makeup someone wears. And that is the end of my
All right, Marina, I thought that the reference to the TV program was fine at the beginning to get our attention. The proposition, you start to give us a kind of a description, but then you pull back and you actually do have a declarative statement of the proposition, but you did rush it a little bit, so I think part of it is not as clear as it could be. The contents are previewed, but the way you preview them in the beginning, they sound like explanations rather than claims. Now, when you get to the body of the speech, you do, in fact, give us claims for those individual points, so that's helpful, and you signpost those reasonably well, and then you also have your explanations. A lot of the explanations have presuppositions built into them. For instance, at the very beginning of the speech, there's an assumption built in that the kids are forced into these pageants, and I didn't hear any information that suggested that that's true, that it's not the children themselves who wanted to participate. One of the problems with the evidence that I'm seeing is that it doesn't really refer to child beauty pageants. It's more specific to beauty pageants that adults participate in. You've got the one piece of data that talks about eating disorders originate when people, at age 16, for instance. But that seemed to be, and all of your examples are contests like Miss America and people who held those sorts of titles, and so none of those illustrations really seem to fit the child beauty pageants that you're talking about. It seems like it's a more general condemnation of beauty pageants. Now, the assumption that it would be accurate and descriptive of children too, I think, is an assumption. I think you need some data to support that particular point. I did like the examples that you have. In fact, I thought maybe each of those examples could have been used to introduce one of the sections, and then the follow-ups would make a little bit more sense. Maybe even at the beginning of the speech, one of them would have worked well as an attention device. I like the statistic on eating disorders. That gives us a little bit closer link to beauty pageants and the kinds of problems that you're talking about here. And I did think that you cited your sources pretty effectively throughout the speech. Sometimes, though, the conclusions, the comments of the experts are very conclusionary without giving us any reason why those experts believe that information. It sounds occasionally like there might have been a study involved, but we're not always getting a reference to the study, and only a couple of times are there statistical references being presented. I think that you needed a little bit more forcefulness in your presentation. You probably know that a little confidence would be good. You're kind of hemming and hawing at times. And congratulations, you're our first Porky Pig exit. I guess I'm done. You need a go back to that proposition that you get at the beginning. You kind of did that, and then you still stepped on it. So don't do that. All right, thank you.